because the left is, I mean,
That's a good way to put
Trump,
it because I don't like Trump either, but I think he is his policies are far enough right to counterbalance the extreme left that we've had for the last 4 years, in my
let me give you a
opinion.
little bigger picture aspect to this. You know what neoliberalism is?
Yeah.
Okay. So neoliberalism started in the late 60s. It was initially started by a Democrat, but then it sort of became a Republican mantra. But and Carter actually did some neoliberal stuff. Jimmy Carter did, but uh, Clinton and Obama were big neoliberalists because the Democratic Party has gradually bought into it. And basically, just to review for the audience, neoliberalism is the dedication of a society to capitalism as its primary operational principle, meaning everything in this, every organization in the society should have a capitalist point of view. You know, hotels, universities, everything. But the danger there is that if it's unchecked, um,
You end
then
up
it,
with a pay to play system.
yeah, you end up with a pay to play system. So, um, and the logical extension of the neoliberal obsession is the World Economic Forum. And I don't know how much you read about that, but they have this plan 2030, which is instituting basically a totalitarian government around the world. So that's the logical path that has to be slowed down. Now, Trump is an anomaly, pretty much of an anomaly in history, because, uh, and you probably understand this, populists show up when government's ineffective, just like third parties show up when government's ineffective, because that's the public crying out for something different. And when Silicon Valley took off in the early 2000s, they and the billionaires created there who have very liberal views, they were absorbed into the Democratic ideology and they started to move the Democratic Party to the left. Well, the group abandoned by the Democrats when they embraced Silicon Valley was the MAGA people, basically middle income and lower middle income white men. So they were left with no representation, seeking a populist, and then Trump came down the escalator. So that's where the MAGA people were born. But the billionaires, obviously, you know as well as I do how many attempts there have been to prevent Trump from succeeding. All the stuff, deep state stuff, the first his first term, impeaching him twice for reasons that shouldn't have been used. All the trials between 2020 and now, most of which are of all of which are fake, just to stop him. Because
Yeah,
to the
and it's all
billionaire,
it's doing is fueling it. And I see
yeah,
Donald Trump as uh so as an American citizen, we've got these attitudes, right? And I think Donald Trump encompasses how a lot of us have felt over the last few years. And like you
yeah,
said, there's a lot of people out there without representation. And I think a
yep,
lot of people feel left that their government doesn't care about them, which I mean, arguably they shouldn't care about us, but that's a different conversation for a different time. But I think a lot of people see Donald Trump as a change to that status quo.
yep,
Um, and I think what his intention was when he ran for president was to ruffle feathers
yep.
and to not necessarily point out the obvious, but make the obvious even more obvious.